The benefits seem clear. We're going to get more people out. We'll get audience retention will increase with a CE webinar. You've got me sold. I'm sure there's a lot out there that are in agreement. And if they are in agreement and ready to get started, Sean, where should they start in planning a CE webinar program?
I always recommend start with the audience.
Okay.
So figure out who they are, figure out why they would come, why they would care, but most importantly, why they would keep coming.
Right.
So we're not doing a one-off webinar here, we're setting up a program. So start with the audience, figure all those parts out. And then once you've got the audience figured out, then start looking at the content strategies.
And on that note, I know that you provided us with a graphic that's going to help us talk through this. If we get that up on the screen, that would be helpful. So let's talk about the base of this. The largest part, or I guess where it all builds from, are these how-to webinars. Talk to me about why they're important and what they are all about.
Sure, Matt. So we came up with this fairly simple pyramid style of content strategy. And if you think of the bottom of the pyramid as being the how-to, so this is the essential how to deploy our particular financial product in a portfolio or an insurance portfolio. Think of this as sort of timeless content that never really changes. It's fairly easy to put together for most firms,
I
right?
imagine.
And probably where most of their volume is going to exist. This can do really well in an on-demand library format or live to the firm's choice.
Okay.
Then we move up the pyramid, we start getting into perspectives.
Right.
So think of this as content that can be created, and in this case would be more bending towards the asset management or investment space, where they would create or put their center of knowledge experts out to create perspectives about how their particular financial product has done, what their outlook might be, giving their audience perspectives that they're not going to get in the daily news media.
And this might be a little more reactive than the bottom tray, because depending on what's going on with their products or the market, these things become more or less relevant, right?
True, and typically that's more of a quarterly type program.
Okay.
And when you look at this, I think the most important is it lends itself very well to live webinars, where the audience can interact and ask questions of whoever is speaking in the engagement.
Okay.
And then when we move up the pyramid to the top, this is really the idea generation, the thought leadership that brings new ideas to your audience, whether it's a new investment idea, a new way to look at taxation. And so these really designed to personalize or put your center of knowledge experts on a stage. And this is where firms might really want to consider a video strategy, whether it's live or on demand.
I imagine these ones might get us some of our biggest audiences. If we're giving people new ideas, that's got to be exciting for your audience.
Absolutely.
Right.
So when we get to the top thought leaderships, you're right. Those tend to be the webcasts that draw the largest audience, sometimes in the thousands, and clearly a huge win for our clients.
Okay. I got a question here from a marketer who, well, they're sold as well, and they are asking a question regarding frequency.
Right.
We knew we were going to get this, right?
Yep,
so if you're starting from scratch, what frequency do you recommend at each tier of the pyramid? And I think we have another graphic to help us support this. Yes, we do. So what would you suggest from an overall frequency, someone just starting to plan a program?
Yeah, absolutely. So the whole idea of having a program is critical mass of content. So measured over a year, we want to think of at least 10, maybe a little bit more, so that you have something to work with. When you think of the how-to, again, that should be the easiest part. Maybe 6 content pieces are right there that the firm can put together. When we get into perspectives, that might be more of a quarterly thing, right? We don't want to be too reactionary to things that happen outside of our world. And then the idea generation, generally the hardest, maybe 2, 3, or 4 a year, and gets you to a nice total of 10 or more over the course of a year. So that's kind of how we break it down.
And I like the quarterly as well, because none of these people, no one out there can affect what's going on in the market. But what they can do is affect what they say about what their products are doing and what they are doing in the market.